The most dangerous moment in your life is not when someone screams at you. It is not when a weapon is drawn. It is not when the market crashes. The most dangerous moment is the silence that follows a lie you desperately wanted to believe. Consider the scenario. You are vulnerable. You have just engaged in the most primal act of human connection. You look at her. She smiles. She tells you it was incredible. She tells you that you are enough. And you, starving for validation, devour that lie like a man dying of thirst drinking salt water. You think she is lying to manipulate you, to extract resources, to play a game of 4D chess. No, that would imply she respects you enough to view you as an opponent. The dark truth, the one that the poets and the romantics and the blue-pilled masses refuse to whisper, is much simpler and much more terrifying. She is faking it because she is afraid of the awkwardness. She is faking it because social cohesion is more valuable to her survival than your growth. She is faking it because, in her eyes, you are fragile. A woman does not lie to a man she fears in the Machiavellian sense. She lies to a man she views as a volatile child who cannot handle the reality of his own mediocrity. Welcome to the Forbidden Masterclass. Today, we are not talking about pleasure. We are talking about the philosophy of the noble Lee, the psychology of agreeable deception, and why the woman who deceives you is actually holding a mirror up to your own weakness. If you are ready to destroy the illusion to find the truth, hit the like button. It tells the algorithm that you are not afraid of the dark. Let us strip away the modern morality. Let us look at human nature through the lens of the raw, unfiltered naturalist. Humans are social animals, but we are not social because we love each other. We are social because alone we die. The tribe is the survival mechanism. And within the tribe, conflict is expensive. Conflict costs energy. Conflict risks expulsion. In the realm of evolutionary psychology, and indeed in the dark psychology texts regarding the agreeableness trait, we see a pattern. Women, on average, score significantly higher in trait agreeableness than men. This is not a weakness, it is a survival strategy. It is the ability to maintain social harmony, to smooth over the rough edges of tribal interactions, to ensure that the group does not fracture. Now, apply this to the intimate sphere. When she fakes a reaction, be it in the bedroom, laughing at your unfunny joke, or nodding along to your delusional business plan, she is prioritizing the feeling of harmony over the fact of reality. Why? Because the truth causes friction, and friction causes heat, and heat burns. If she tells you the truth, that didn't feel good, you aren't funny, that idea is stupid. She creates a rupture in the social fabric. She forces a confrontation. And in that confrontation, she has to deal with your ego. Most men walk through life thinking they are stoic emperors, akin to Marcus Aurelius. But the moment their performance is critiqued, they crumble like sand castles. She knows this. She has learned this. She has been conditioned by 1,000 interactions before you that men are volatile creatures whose egos are made of glass. So, she utilizes the path of least resistance. The fake. The fake is not malice. Malice requires hatred. The fake is indifference to your potential. Think about that. Let it sink in. If a mentor screams at you, pushes you, breaks you down, it is because he believes you can be better. He respects your potential enough to hurt your feelings. If a woman smiles and fakes it, she has decided that you are at your capacity. She has accepted your mediocrity. She is patting you on the head, giving you a participation trophy, and waiting for you to fall asleep so she can go back to her reality. She isn't the villain. You are the child. If this stings, good. That is the feeling of the anesthetic wearing off. Comment below. I prefer the pain of truth. Let's see how many of you are actually awake. Pause, let's travel back. The Royal Court of Versailles, Louis XIV, or perhaps the Imperial Court of Rome under Caligula. Imagine you are a courtier. You are intelligent, sharp, and survival-oriented. You serve a king who is powerful but delusional. He thinks he is a poet, but his rhymes are garbage. He thinks he is a lover, but he is clumsy. Do you tell him the truth? If you tell the king, Your Majesty, that poem was terrible, you lose your head. Or, at the very least, you lose your standing. You are cast out into the cold. So, what do? You clap, you cheer, you gasp in awe. You fake it. You do not do this because you hate the king. You do this because you want to survive the king. In the dynamic of modern relationships, the fragile male ego has become the mad king, and she is the courtier. She has assessed that the cost of your wrath, or worse, your sullen, moping, passive-aggressive withdrawal, is too high. She cannot afford your emotional collapse, so she performs the role of the loyal subject. Machiavelli, in The Prince, discusses the necessity of appearances. He writes that the vulgar crowd is always taken in by appearances, and the world consists of the vulgar. But here, the roles are reversed. She is the Machiavellian prince, maintaining her state, the relationship through the strategic use of appearances. You are the vulgar crowd, easily seduced by the appearance of your own competence. She is managing you. This is the concept of soft power. Hard power is coercion, do this or else. Soft power is co-optation, making you feel like a king so you remain docile. When she fakes it, she is applying a sedative to your ambition. She is keeping the king happy so the king doesn't start breaking the furniture. But here is the tragedy: a king surrounded by yes men eventually falls. A man surrounded by agreeable lies never improves. You stagnate. You believe you are a master lover, a master wit, a master businessman, while the world outside your bedroom or your living room prepares to eat you alive because you have no tolerance for failure. She is protecting you from the micro failures, which ensures you will suffer a macro failure. Ask yourself right now, when was the last time she actually criticized you? Not nagged you about the dishes. That is trivial. I mean, criticized your character, your performance, your strategy. If the answer is never, you are not in a relationship, you are in a daycare. Pause. Let's go deeper into the files. We analyze the dark psychology of body language and micro-expressions. Paul Ekman's research on micro-expressions reveals that true emotion is involuntary. It happens in a fraction of a second. The dilation of the pupil, the flash of the nasolabial fold, the genuine Duchenne smile where the eyes crinkle. The fake is always slightly delayed. It is conscious. It is processed in the prefrontal cortex, not the limbic system. When she fakes it, she is engaging a high-level cognitive function. She is overriding her biological reality, lack of pleasure, boredom, disagreement to project a social reality. This requires effort. Why would an organism waste energy on a lie? Because of theory of mind. She understands what you are thinking. She simulates your reaction. If I stay silent, he will ask what's wrong. If he asks what's wrong, we have to talk for 2 hours. I am tired. I want to sleep. Therefore, I will simulate climax. It is a transaction. She pays a tax of physical exertion to buy the commodity of peace. But there is a darker biological imperative here. In the wild, females choose mates based on competence. If you display incompetence, her biological drive is to seek a better mate. However, modern monogamy and social contracts bind you together. So cognitive dissonance sets in. She cannot leave mortgage, kids, history, comfort, but she cannot respect the incompetence. The fake is the bridge over that gap. It allows her to stay with a man she doesn't fully respect by pretending he is better than he is. She is gaslighting herself as much as she is gaslighting you. She is trying to convince her biology that you are the alpha, even when your performance says beta. This is the cruelty of nature. Nature demands excellence. Society demands politeness. She is trapped in the middle, and you are the casualty of that war. If this is making you uncomfortable, hit subscribe. We are only halfway down the rabbit hole. Pause. Now I turn the mirror on you. The psycho-smart perspective requires us to look at the victim's complicity, Deep down, in the lizard brain that hasn't been domesticated by civilization, you know when she is faking. You know when the laugh is forced. You know when the agreement is hollow. Why do you accept it? Because you are addicted to the validation. You are the co-conspirator in your own deception. You prefer the comfortable lie to the difficult truth. If you called her out, if you stopped the car and said, "Stop lying to me. You don't agree with me," you would have to face the void. You would have to face the fact that you aren't as good as you think you are. This is the narcissistic supply loop. You need the supply praise, pleasure response. She provides the supply, the fake. You reward her with resources, security, and affection. It is a business deal. But it is a bankrupt business. A man who accepts a fake smile is a man who has given up on reality. And a man who gives up on reality is destined to be crushed by it. Napoleon Bonaparte once said, "A soldier will fight long and hard for a bit of colored ribbon." You are that soldier. Her fake orgasm, her fake laugh, her fake agreement. That is your colored ribbon. And you are fighting a war for a delusion. A pause, the hum stops, absolute silence. So how do we break this? How do we stop the social cohesion, lie and demand the brutal reality? You do not do it by begging. You do not do it by getting angry. You do it by becoming dangerous, not physically dangerous, intellectually and emotionally dangerous. A woman lies to a fragile man. She tells the truth to a grounded man. You must create an environment where the truth is not punished. This is the hardest thing a human being can do. You must detach your ego from the outcome. When she gives you feedback, even non-verbal feedback, boredom, lack of response, you must not react with hurt. You must react with curiosity. You must apply the scientific method to your intimacy. I noticed that didn't work. Interesting. Tell me why. If you say this without anger, without the whiny tone of a wounded child, she will freeze. She will be confused. She is used to the courtier script. She expects the king to rage. When the king leans in and asks, "How can I rule better?" the courtier stops acting and starts advising. You must transition her role from subject to advisor. This requires you to kill the version of yourself that needs constant praise. You have to starve your ego to feed your competence. Here is the dark technique: strategic withdrawal of validation. If you suspect she is faking social cohesions, agreeing just to agree, you stop rewarding her. You pull back your attention. You become cold, not mean, just distant. Humans crave synchronicity. If you pull back, she will chase. She will ask, "What's wrong?" And then you drop the hammer of truth. "I feel like you're agreeing with me to be polite." I don't want polite. I want real. If you think I'm wrong, say it. I can take it. You have just drawn a line in the sand. You have signaled high status. Low status men need agreement. High status men demand optimization. By doing this, you signal that you are not a fragile vase that she needs to carry gently. You are a rock. She can strike you, and you will not break. Only then will she stop faking. Because only then will she feel safe enough to be real. Opposed, we are approaching the end of this session. The philosopher Nietzsche famously said, "How much truth can a spirit bear? How much truth can a spirit dare?" The reason she fakes it is because she has judged that your spirit cannot bear the truth. She is protecting the relationship from you. It is a tragedy, really. Two people lying in the dark, one pretending to enjoy, the other pretending to be powerful. A shared hallucination. Do you want to live in that hallucination? It is warm, it is safe, it is comfortable. Or do you want to step out into the cold wind of reality? If you stop accepting the fake, you might find that you have a lot of work to do. You might find you aren't as good a lover as you thought. You might find your jokes aren't funny. You might find your worldview is flawed. That realization hurts, but that pain is growing pains. The fake is the coffin of your potential. The truth, however ugly, is the womb of your future power. She isn't lying to hurt you. She is lying because she loves you in a pitying, maternal way. Don't be the child she protects. Be the man she respects. The camera zooms in slowly. This is the beginning of your deprogramming. If this video unsettled you, good. That means the medicine is working. Drop a comment below with a single word: reality. Let me know you are done with the polite fictions. Subscribe, because in the next lesson, we are going to dissect how to tell when she is manipulating you not for peace, but for power. And you are not ready for that yet.